Alright, welcome back to Hector's hard mode of Fire Emblem 7. We are going to do this level, which is not easy. Not easy level, hard level. A good level, but hard level. I say good level because everything on here is with the exception of the center, is a mage. So on the one hand, I'm going to be big disadvantage. Particularly the characters I picked, I realized had very low resistance, with the exception of obviously my dancer. Very nice resistance. Obviously, I don't really get an option. I have to use Hawkeye in this mission, so we will use him. I'm not going to sit on my fingers and go, oh, well, I'm not giving him any experience. I'm going to use him to get through this level. But we're going to try to focus on getting Thane and Heath up. Same thing with Dorcas. If I can get him up to class up level, that'd be great. Not too concerned with Lynn, but I had to bring Lynn in because unfortunately Guy was not cutting it. His resistance was too low. So we are going to best as we can. We're going to press. Unfortunately, this. I don't want to say that only this sage. This sage is the easiest of the characters that have long-range bolting spells slash okay, so to explain, there are a couple sages on this level that have long-range bolting spells. There's also a comparable version of the bishop that has a long-range bishop-esque spell. And then the druids have a long-range spell too, which I think is called Eclipse. The weird, nice part about Eclipse, though, is Eclipse only does 50% damage. It is like Final Fantasy's Demi attack. You can use Demi from now until the end of the world. You more than likely will never kill with Demi. Not really sure what happens when a character hits 1, but essentially it's just designed to half whatever their current HP is. So if they're, Final Fantasy talking here, if they're at, 10,000 HP and you use Demi and it works against a character, like a boss character like that, a lot of them are immune. It would take roughly 5,000 hit points off them. I mean, it would take 5,000 hit points off of them. I'm thinking, if the cap was 9,999, it would be slightly less than that, but it would take half health, and then the next turn it would take half of that, 2,500, so on and so forth. Okay. So that's Eclipse. So I don't, provided my guys aren't at 1, because I'm not really sure what happens when your character's at 1 and they use Eclipse on you or whatever. But yeah. Priscilla is a good decoy in this level. 4 long-range bolting spells. Yeah, that's the other thing we're gonna have to be worried about. There are 3 magic users. I know the sage. That sage is one of them. I know the bishop has a stave as well. And I think the last stave is either on the druid or another sage to this center to bottom right hand side, and they have sleep, silence, and berserk. And of those 3, you could say that sleep is very dangerous. It is, in a way. But if I can get the guy to use up his sleep staff in the first couple turns, That'll be great, because then I can just... the plan is to get the walls opened up here to the right of that stage and Heath. If I can get those walls opened up, I'm going to come wrap around down, and I'll have Priscilla hopefully in position to knock people out of sleep and or berserk. But again, I think berserk is the most dangerous of staves, because they will find, you know, obviously you're not running a baby character that's at 1. So, and because they're on your team, they slip between your characters. So, for instance, say you put up a wall of generals, okay? And behind your general, you happen to have your dancer or a healer or a mage of some sort that you're trying to keep separated. Yeah, there's second sleep, so that's 2 people asleep so far. 1 more sleep to go, and the sleep staff will be used up. But what I was trying to say is, Berserk is so dangerous because you're not, again, bringing baby characters in. You're bringing in your regular, I need to do damage, I need to level these guys up. So, and because they can slip through your other blue guys because they don't recognize them as being berserked, or however you want to look at them, you know, they will attack your guys and they'll do serious damage because, again, you're running what is essentially your characters, which are, for better or worse, they're practically boss characters, you know? So, I don't know. The obvious object, but ugh, it tastes terrible. Ew, yuck. Hey, I put too much bitters in my glass, apparently. Ew. I have to water that down or mix that or something, I don't know. But what we're going to attempt to do, because in this level, unlike the other versions, I don't know, maybe about Ellawood's card, I don't remember it well enough to say one way or another, but after about 5 turns, this magic field is going to disappear. So, yeah, that sucks. So that's 3 of 3 guys asleep now. Obviously, the computer is smart enough not to use silence on non-mages, so you will not be seeing them accidentally use it on Hector or Ellawood. Ellawood's obviously not in this mission, but, you know, they won't accidentally use it on a Heath character or any other character that is a non-mage. They are designed exclusively to hold on to that stave and not use it until you have a mage within its range. In this case, the only mage I have on the board is Priscilla, and fortunately she is the most important. You know, in terms of getting through this, she's going to be the most important person on the board. Now, obviously, I need guys like Heath and my other physical fighters to obviously do physical fighting, okay? So yeah, that's like a sort of no-brainer. Like, oh yeah, you have to have people that can kill the other enemies to progress through the stage. Otherwise, you're just a sitting duck. But in terms of what I would call the VIP of this mission, it has to be your healers, because you got to make sure that you got guys with long-range bolting spells. They're going to gang up on you. They are going to use, when they have the chance, they are going to use Berserk or Sleep. So you need to have someone like Priscilla or I can't remember the other healer's name now. I want to call her Rebecca, but Rebecca is the archer. Sarah, there it is. So Sarah, Priscilla obviously being the better choice because she's on a horse and she moves farther. I imagine or Sarah would be good because she would have high resistance. And then obviously any guy that you have classed up at this point, whether that be a a regular fighter or a mage, would be super good in this. But again, with the guy running the silent staff, or silent staff. I think that's what it is, isn't it? I'm going to have to sort of get lucky here, because if they decide to silence, or if Priscilla gets silent, I'm not going to be able to use her to heal sleep, heal a berserk, heal anything, and it's unfortunately not running a second mage here. I can't even, like, not that Urk, who I just classed up in the last level, would have high enough, I don't know if he would have high enough safe use to wield a restore. Now, if I had run Lucius in here, for some reason Bishop seems to start with, whenever they class up, they start with minimum level C safe usage. So, unlike your Druid, your Sage that start in E and have to work their way up to the higher levels. Like I said, even using Lucius, who starts out as a light magic user and then gains the ability to use staves, versus Priscilla, who starts out using Priscilla, yes, and Sarah, who start out using staves, and then I think they get, like, I don't know, I'll have to check once Priscilla classes up, but I believe they both start with level E magic. Or D. Theory, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's just a couple extra uses of the magic tomes to get them out of E. There's the berserk I was afraid of. There's the silence that's not great, but I missed. They missed, is what I should say, so that's a positive that they missed. Because that would be... I don't want to say that would be a let's start the game this board over again, but yeah, that would be pretty close to let's start this mission again. So like the previous mission, this is like my 4th or 5th attempt at this. It's not because the game randomly decided to kill Pent, who you're required to keep alive, but the opposite. And again, doing the thing that I did in some of the earlier missions, where I'm overextending my units because they literally divide you off at the very beginning with the wall, and they basically say, put 4 guys to the left and 2 guys to the right, because guess what? Hawkeye's going with Hector on the right side, so you can pick 2 guys you want to bring along with your axe fighters, and everybody else gets to be on the other side of the wall or sit on the bench. So, ideally you'll either bring some very strong characters that have high resistance or high evasion, or in my case, I preferred to have all of my horse / wyvern flying units up here. I imagine if you were running Pegasus Knights here, this would be the point where you're getting one or both your Pegasus Knights up to 20. Depending on where they're at, of course. I mean, obviously, there's only so many guys on the field. I don't think you could go from, level 1 to level 20. But you could definitely take them from level 10 to 20 mission. Right. That's a miss. That's a miss. That is unfortunately a hit. Okay, though. still alive. Here comes silence number 2. That missed. Great. And now it's my turn again. Hooray. This is where I've got myself into a bit of a pickle here. I've got Hector, I've got Lynn, Dorcas, and Hawkeye sort of trapped here amongst the guys. I don't really have to worry about. No one has like that archer. It doesn't have like longbow or anything to worry about. But I have to get rid of. I literally have to prioritize getting rid of the berserker because otherwise it's going to be Heath running away and Zane more or less getting hunted down by that mage. And I kind of don't want to do that. I kind of want to heal Sane of the berserk, which is what I did, and then I can use Heath either heal himself. We can retreat back with Heath and feel okay with what we're doing, but in all likelihood, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to use that another, or I guess it really depends. I was gonna say I'm gonna have to use another Hector. However, if Heath can one-shot kill this guy with a reasonable amount of percent, reasonable chance, like a 90-something% chance, I'll roll the dice on this. So 27, that'll kill. Good. I think that was 27 damage with a 99% chance of hitting, so more or less guaranteed. If he missed with the 1%, I would be very upset. I would be very, very upset. Like, oh, sorry, Heath, you should have healed yourself. Oh, wait, you did heal yourself, and we used all of our long-range magic attacks to target your ass down, and now you're still dead. Hey. That happens sometimes in the Fire Emblem game where they just start targeting people. It doesn't mean that instantly that they're dead, but there's a pretty good chance that the game's figured out the right combination to kill your guy. Good job there, Hawkeye. One of the big benefits of running a Hawkeye, or hell, any berserker, is that they do, much like the Swordmaster, they do get a bonus to their crit. So instead of a normal character wielding a killer axe with a 20% or whatever the percent chance is of doing critical, they have a minimum, I think it's a minimum, or like a base 20%, then based on the statistics, that number can either go up or it can go down. Obviously, if you're significantly unlucky, and your crit would be lower than 20, I'm sure it lowers it below 20. But, you start with a base amount of critical damage. So you have a 22% chance with just a regular iron axe, as well as the hand axe. And then, yeah, we're gonna have to heal here. So, another great reason to buy a physics staff or 2 is for this exact reason. Because yeah, you need weapons. You need to make sure you have lots of weapons because you're gonna blow through them. Because you're gonna fight so much shit, you're gonna need them. But sometimes springing for stuff like a physics is well worth the money. As I can be within, say, 5 spaces of a character or so. and still heal them. Whereas with the other two saves, your regular heal and your mend, I have to physically be next to them. Is fair, but annoying in this stage where you're trying to keep, you know, your healer away from the magic users. Not that healers are bad, have low. Could you imagine having a healer or a mage that is very low resistance? Like, okay, you're essentially what in many other games would be considered a mage fighter, where you have high defense, low, high attack, high defense, or middling defense at least, and low low resistance? Question mark. Like, why would you have low resistance? You're not good against mages, but you're good against mages because you have high attack. Usually they combine it. They give you, with most mage fighters, you're usually sort of like a red mage. You're not really good at either physical or magical damage, but you're pretty good doing the opposite of what the character expects. Like, if you expect a physical attack, you can do magic. If you expect magic, you can do physical. Take advantage of their weakness, in other words.